Andy Kaufman, with Richard Belzer, Jim Carrey, Rodney Dangerfield, Bobcat Goldthwait, Judd Hurt, Howdy Doody, Carol Kane, Robert Klein, Jay Leno, Richard Lewis, Lorne Michaels, Carl Reiner, Michael Richards, Gary Shandling, Sinbad, Lily Tomlin, Dick Van Dyke, and never before seen Kaufman home movies. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Saget and Mary Lou Henner.
Andy Kaufman. In the history of comedy, there's never been anyone like him, and there never will be. So innovative, so funny. To this day, nobody who ever saw him or knew him will ever forget him.
Andy never told the joke. He lived them out in real life. And he fooled everybody. When he died 10 years ago, people thought he was just pulling another one of his pranks. Some people, like my parents, still think he's alive and living somewhere with Elvis in a trailer.
Well, tonight you can see for yourself. Who was Andy Kaufman? Maybe our first true performance artist. I think so. He was definitely way ahead of his time, and I'm still not sure we're ready for him.
It was as if all the other comedians are speaking English and he's speaking Chinese, but you still got the joke. That's what I admired about Andy, that he did it in a totally different way.
Look, up in the sky, it's blue, it's plain. Nope, it's Superman. Yep, Superman. Strange visitor from another planet came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond old bold me.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lily Tomlin. I loved Andy's work, especially his appearances on NBC's Saturday Night Live. He was there at the beginning on the show's very first broadcast in 1975. At age 25, Andy was about to make his debut on national television. This performance would redefine the boundaries of comedy and pave the way for a new breed of comedian who did not have to tell a joke to make you laugh.
Lip-syncing to Mighty Mouse, it was that he was only doing one part in it. And so that it was the standing...
A few weeks later, Andy was invited to return to Saturday Night Live. America wanted to know more about this strange fellow.
That he read The Great Gatsby and then he fell into a hole or a trap door.
He would return to reveal yet another aspect of his many talents. He was something of an impressionist, an abstract impressionist.
Right now, I would like to do some imitations for you. So first, I would like to imitate Mr. Carter, the President of the United States. Hello, I am Mr. Carter. I am the President of the United States. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now, last but not to be the least, I would like to imitate the Elvis Presley.
Until we saw Andy's Elvis, no one had fully... As a teenager, Andy idolized Elvis Presley. Legend has it that he even hitchhiked to Las Vegas to meet the king. Years later, when Andy had become famous, he was thrilled to learn that Elvis Presley considered Andy's impersonation to be far and away his favorite.
You can all just stare at me while I catch my breath.
Thank you very much.
On Saturday Night Live, Andy finally realized one of his boyhood dreams, to become a wrestling champion. Somehow he managed to stay undefeated, sometimes just barely. Now, the basic theatrics of professional wrestling, good guy versus the bad guy, so intrigued Andy that he decided to incorporate it into his act. The Kaufman twist, He cast himself as the bad guy and let the good guy be a woman. Although he invented the category himself, he became the intergender wrestling champion of the world. And here's the belt he wore to prove it.
And he always dreamed of wrestling.
Andy's early appearances on Saturday Night Live had helped make that show a success. And so in 1980, when ABC launched its late-night comedy show, Fridays, whose cast included Michael Richards, they also called on Andy Kaufman. Michael? Michael?
Andy, boy, when he came on our show, that was Fridays back in 1982. They were giving him a lot of material to do that week, and Andy wasn't satisfied with any of it. This was a late-night comedy show, live, and I was one of the cast members, and we were all very excited to work with Andy. He wanted to do something really special, something very, very unique. So it was he and I, along with our executive producer, John Moffat, we decided that Andy would break out of a sketch, and we wouldn't tell the rest of the cast members. Andy then began to say, I really can't do this sketch anymore.
I can't. Can I just... It's enough.
Just say it.
I can't play. I can't play Stone. I feel really stupid.
You feel stupid. You feel stupid.
I feel very stupid. No, because, where are you going?
I found myself just getting up and going for the cue cards, and then I tossed them in front of Andy. Everyone was just furious at Andy. The cast members thought that that was really something he shouldn't have done, very unprofessional. The technicians on our show, they were livid.
Tight around here. Why do you have to be so tight? What?
All of America was in an uproar. Letters started pouring in. It was headline news on all of the newspapers throughout the country. Phone calls. Of course, Andy was just delighted. It's just exactly what he wanted to happen.
Can I help you?
Oh, how much is this one?
It's about $900.
That's, okay, well, I'll think about it. This is a nice one. I like this one.
While living in the comedy clubs for like 10 years, probably no other performer had as big an influence on me as Andy Kaufman. Of course, there's no evidence of that in my television work, but I really, really did admire Andy, especially his work on late-night television, where he eventually got an audience with the king of comedy, Johnny Carson.
Good. Where are you from originally?
From Caspian. Is island. Yeah.
Caspian?
Caspian.
Well, that's a first in show business.
Andy Kaufman is with us tonight, and Andy has... It's a little difficult to explain what Andy does. He will do it when he comes out, and...
Andy always had something new for Johnny, and Johnny was always intrigued with that prospect.
I would like to imitate Ed McMahon. And now he's Johnny. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. No, how hot was it? Ha, ha, ha. Thank you very much.
It wasn't until Steve Martin guest hosted The Tonight Show that he got Andy to explain the secret origins of foreign men.
Like one time, these people in downtown New York, they came up to me and said, all right, we want some money. And I said, you know, and if I had said, I'm sorry, but I need my money for I need it myself. I have some, but I don't want to give it to you. They would have said, you know, but instead I said,
I'm sorry, I don't have no money. I don't have nothing. I don't know what to do.
leave me alone. Leave me alone. And they said, all right, listen, here, you want some money?
Coming up, Jim Carrey, Judd Hirsch, Carol Kane, and Andy's funniest moments on Taxi.
Andy Kaufman had two families. He had his own family, his mom and dad, brother and sister, but he also had his television family. He had us, the cast of Taxi. Taxi would make Andy Kaufman a household name, and I think everybody best remembers him from this series. He was Latka, the lovable immigrant mechanic.
Hello? We've been looking all over town for you. Have you been back here the whole time? Latka, now listen to me good, because I've been thinking about this. I think you're just making things worse by running.
No, the Polak is about the people.
Who told you that?
Don't you Polak?
No, I think it's best that you turn yourself in.
No, the Polak was the Pitakat.
Well, we'll try to find a good lawyer for you that can help.
Oh, the Polak was the Pitakat.
Now, Latka was based on Foreign Man, a character that Andy had been performing in his nightclub act and on television specials for years. Here was a character fully developed, ready to go, and the picture of sweetness.
Why don't you shut up, pal, Latka?
Why don't you shut up?
Hey, Latka, you shut up or I'm gonna knock you out. How's that?
No. Because you cannot knock me out. Because if you do, nobody is going to like you. Because I am weak and defenseless and cute.
Well, then shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. See, I am winning this argument.
It didn't take long for all of us in the cast to see that Andy was a man of 1,000 faces.
No. No. No.
Jim says there's coca leaves in them. What? Coca leaves.
You know, through his evolution in the show, we tapped into all the wonderful things about Andy Kaufman, about the fact that he does these other characters. And so he became a guy with multiple personalities. And the epitome of it all, of course, was when he decides that he's me. You don't really play me. You don't really play somebody else right in front of him.
Ooh! Another Lollapalooza night for Riga #2. I kissed the day you went off your nut, Alex.
Well, what do you think of the human race? I'd like an outsider's opinion.
Funnier than you.
I always loved the episodes that explored Latka's bouts with multiple personalities. His favorite alter ego was Playboy Vic Ferrari.
The first few moments of a relationship set the tone for the whole thing, if you know what I mean. So let's be honest. My name is Vic. I'm into Italian cars, Technic stereos, Australian films, and beautiful ladies. If you're interested, let's talk. If not, it's been fun.
Vic, huh?
No, not Vic, huh? Vic Ferrari.
Vic Ferrari? That isn't your real name, is it?
Why don't you tell me after you see how I perform on a tight corner? Terrible humor, Vic. But I love that smile. Come on, walk with me, talk with me.
No character as lovable as Latka could go long without someone to really love him. So, enter Simka.
Hello, Latka. I'm ready for our date.
Hello, Simka.
She really is a rib from Latka. I mean, everything that I am as Simka came from Andy.
What would you like? Would you like something from the hoof or something close to the tusk?
Both.
That's what I love about you. You eat like a swine.
Just how unusual was Andy? Well, he told us that in case his TV career ever faltered, he'd need something to fall back on. So believe it or not, after his taxi rehearsals, he'd report to work at his second job, a professional busboy.
I don't want to go around thinking that I'm any more special than anybody else, because I'm not. I'm just a human being. And working as a busboy reminds me of this.
The way I can describe Andy Kaufman, basically, is an excellent, hardworking, very serious in his work type of man.
I can truthfully say that no one added more of an edge of insanity to the taxi set than Andy Kaufman. He was an absolute original, an uncompromised artist who marched through his short, strange life to a very different drummer.
Andy always took it to the next level, man. He was the kind of person that people wanted to, comedians would stand at the back and go, I got to build a statue, and it's got to be of him.
Coming up, Gary Shandling, Rodney Dangerfield, and Andy's surprise appearance on The Dating Game.
Your peanut gallery when I was 5 years old, you know? And I was just sitting there, and I was kind of depressed because I could see what everyone was like when they weren't on camera. And I could see the man who was working your strings. And I must say, even though I could, you know, even though I could see your strings and everything, to me, you're just as real as anyone else who's on this show. And I feel like I'm really talking to a real person.
Oh, gosh, well, thank you, Andy.
Probably because he was a child of television, Andy would make this medium all his own. Whether it was on variety shows or on the occasional game show, he loved to break the rules. Andy broke every rule on The Dating Game, arranging with the producers to pass himself off as a real contestant on an actual episode.
Bachelor number one. Number one, would you say hi to Patrice, please?
How you doing, Patrice?
How about number two?
How you doing today, Patrice?
And number three?
Hello, Patrice.
Bachelor number 3. It's the holiday season, and I'm Santa. You're on my lap. Little boy, take it away.
What? Wait a minute. Wait. I don't know what she looked like. Could I see what she looked like?
No, you can't, number three, no.
But I don't know who she is.
No, I know. But
I'm
imagine
Santa.
she's beautiful.
And you're a
Santa
little...
Claus?
Right.
But you don't sound like Santa Claus.
You also didn't choose Bachelor number 3. Baji,
No.
Kimran, Baji,
But-
come on and say hello,
No,
please.
But I won. I answered all the questions right.
Dick Van Dyke and Carl Reiner were among Andy's earliest supporters. Van Dyke made him a regular on his NBC variety series.
Well, I met Andy through Bob Einstein, who was one of the producers and writers for the variety show we did. He brought Andy on as a guest, and he was so well received, and it was such a big hit that we just kept bringing him back.
And have the people laugh at me when the circus comes to town. I'll make...
What are you doing here?
I come to be on your show again.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the young man who doesn't seem to understand the rules of television.
Andy broke musical rules, too. This time as a guest on The Mike Douglas Show.
Kaufman.
I remember one time I was watching the 10th anniversary of Catch a Rising Star. You know, I didn't know what Catch a Rising Star was then. You know, I was thinking about becoming a comic. And Andy Kaufman was on stage, and as he was doing his routine, at the time, you know if this was real or not, this guy started doing his routine for him.
Her cooking is so bad.
It's terrible.
First, I would like to do for you the Ed Sullivan.
The Archie Bunker.
So,
The Archie Bunker you could do first. The Archie Bunker.
okay, first, I would like to do for you the Archie Bunker.
That's right.
You meathead. Get out of my chair.
You dingbat, get into the kitchen and make me the food.
You think? Dingbat,
you make go into the kitchen, make me
go
the
into
food.
the kitchen and make me the food.
Go ahead. No, there's no problem. The only problem is that I'm doing your act for you.
So why don't you listen?
Huh? Okay, what are you going to do? You got no act. You're going to do
I have an act about Elvis.
If you can't even do Elvis, he's got to put on a wig now because he's losing his hair. So he has to do Elvis.
It got so real, I thought they had a real fight up there. And to this day, I don't know if they really were fighting. And now I found out it was a plant. But the man was so believable that I'm going, this man's nuts. But it was good for comedy because it showed you there are no boundaries. And I love the fact that he would just take it all the way out.
I saw him do something hilariously funny on a special that I always remembered. He played a talk show host in which his chair was 4 feet taller than the guests. And that was very funny because it's always been true of Letterman and Johnny. Their chair is subtly a little higher.
So would you please welcome Dr. Alex Shore.
No one has ever done what Andy did and did it as well, and no one will ever, because he did it first. So did Buster Keaton, and so did Andy.
All performers dream of playing Carnegie Hall, even comedians. And Andy realized this dream on April 26, 1979. His show was a sellout and would never be forgotten by anyone who was there. Naturally, Andy did things no one had ever done in Carnegie Hall. For starters, he induced a heart attack in an old lady, then raised her from the dead. He wrestled women and also a man. And just when you thought the show was over, Andy surprised you.
I'd like to take you all out for milk and cookies now. So if you'll all proceed in an orderly manner, there's 20 buses out waiting for you outside.
He was never afraid to go out and try something new. I mean, when he gave milk and cookies to the audience at Carnegie Hall, he invited them all to go in buses and have milk and cookies. I mean, it's the cutest thing you've ever seen, but it's also very creative.
Well, eventually, Andy was given a network special of his own, and it looked like nothing anyone had ever seen. In fact, no one did see it for over 2 years. Why? It'll scare people in Kansas, the network's worried.
Okay? We have to take it, Mr. Kaufman.
Huh?
Andy, we have to take it.
What'd you call me? Mr. Kaufman, okay? Mr. Kaufman. You're just a stagehand. You understand that? Get it through your head, okay? Your name is Mr. Kaufman, not Andy.
5
to you.
seconds.
Okay?
5,
Fine. Don't give me a hard time, pal. You're
3,
just a stagehand.
2.
You want... Okay. We're back. And, thank you. Thank you.
The show was eventually aired to rave reviews.
Rodney.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I don't know. What are you doing here?
Well, if I don't get my own network special, I'm going to jump.
Really? You think it'll work?
It'll work.
Oh, okay. I'll try it, too.
One time Andy and I worked together was in 1983. I was doing a television special, and I asked him to play a character, a fictitious character who I talked about in my act for many years, Dr. Vinnie Boombats. As usual, Andy did a sensational job. Dr. Boombats.
I'll pay you. I promise I'll pay you. I just need more time. Please, please.
Hey, Doc, it's me, Rodney. I'm a patient. Shall I go inside and take off all my clothes?
Hey, what do you want? Me to get sick? What's your problem?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Does this hurt?
No,
Does this hurt?
no.
How about this? I know your problem now. You can't take it. You gotta relax. Here, here's some sleeping pills. Now, there's enough there to last you for 3 months.
What, should I take one a day?
I know you. You'll forget. Take them all now. Call me in the morning if you wake up. Now, get out of here.
Andy and I worked together a few times. And when he did work with me, he opened the show as a character called Tony Clifton. His objective was to make the audience hate him, which he did. After the first show, believe it or not, I had to go out and put the net in front of him so the people were throwing things and Andy wouldn't get hit. And they really hated him.
Come on, Bob, hey, put it there, put it there. Hey, all right, all right. Hey, listen, Bob, you got a sense of humor. You got a sense of humor. You got a sense because it was all fun. Please forgive me, okay? My apology. You want to see some humor? You want to see humor? Yeah, I'll show you humor. That's humor. That's humor. That's humor, pal. That's humor. Oh, everybody say, oh, come on. Oh, oh.
One of the times that I felt most gullible in my whole life was going to the Comedy Store, and Tony Clifton was on stage, and I did not know it was Andy. And someone leaned over and said, you know, that's Andy Kaufman. And it was mind-blowing to me, because I've been around people who do characters, and yet I could not tell that was Andy.
I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I am music, and I sing the songs. Oh, yeah. I am music, and I sing the songs.
One of the most ingenious characters that Andy did was Tony Clifton. He annoyed and entertained at the same time. He always denied that he was Tony Clifton, and Tony Clifton always denied even knowing Andy Kaufman.
You're getting a whole career out of this mistaken identity. You don't look anything like Andy Kaufman.
Well, because I am not Andy Kaufman. I am not Andy Kaufman at all. I want nothing to do with Andy Kaufman. I think Andy Kaufman is a creep.
No matter how much Tony and Andy denied it, everybody was absolutely sure that Andy Kaufman and Tony Clifton were the same person.
Let me get right to it now. When I first became aware of you, you seemed to actually come out of nowhere. You were working with Andy Kaufman, the talented comedian and actor.
Well, I don't know about
and
talented.
There was some discussion at that time that you, in fact, were Andy Kaufman, and that there is no Tony Clifton.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I'm not talking about Kaufman's been using my name to get places.
And so there is no truth to the rumor that you're actually Andy Kaufman.
There's no truth to that one whatsoever. That's total fabrication on your part.
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, a lot of other people have said that.
Yeah, I know many people are saying that, but many people say a lot of things. I don't believe it, you don't believe it. I don't see it, you don't see it. Be it, play it, hear it, me it.
You look like you're kind of a health nut. Do you work out?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Now here's the reveal of the big secret that's been kept for 15 years. Andy created the character Tony Clifton, but then he passed it off to a friend and writer, Bob Zmuda, who ended up playing it most of the time. On most of these shows that you see Tony Clifton, you're really seeing Bob Zmuda. And Andy was just sitting at home, watching and laughing. Once again, he had us fooled.
Coming up, Andy's never-before-seen home movies, his first recorded performance, and his unforgettable appearance on Late Night with David Letterman.
Andy's dad was a home movie buff. And, of course, nobody likes home movies more than I do. It's one of my jobs. I have to like them. So imagine my delight when we uncovered these never-before-seen home movies of Andy as a boy.
And that's me. That's my mom, and she's holding Carol. My father's taking the pictures. Okay, now there's Carol waving. We're all waving to the camera. Okay. See, Carol was just a little baby then. Now there's me. I'm holding Carol. See? Mommy's putting her on my lap, and now we're waving at the camera.
Well, as my mother tells the story, Andy began entertaining, as a sort, in his crib when he was 9 months old. My mom would put the Victrola in there in the record, and at Andy's insistence, and he would put the needle on the record, and he'd just be dancing in his crib, entertaining himself for hours, you know, as a 9-month-old. Why I went into entertainment in the first place was because I guess I always had a tendency towards that. Ever since I was a little boy, just a few years old,
I used to stay in my room all day long, every day, while all the other kids were out playing ball and stuff. I used to stay in my room and imagine that there was a camera in the wall. And I used to really believe that I was putting on a television show and that it was going out to somewhere in the world.
Introducing Andy Troubadour, Kaufman.
Ole-oo, bum, playing on the old guitar, bum, playing on the old guitar, bum. I gotta keep it old, but I don't know how. Playing on the old guitar, bum.
That was a terrific number, Andy. I'm sure that before very long, you're going to be hearing that number from coast to coast.
Andy had a special rapport with David Letterman. He had been a guest on Dave's old morning show and became a fixture on NBC's Late Night with David Letterman.
Andy Kaufman used to come on the show in the beginning. He would come on 2 or 3 times a year, and we had no better guest in those days than Andy Kaufman, because you never knew what he was going to do exactly, other than it was going to be strange and exciting.
One night, Andy announced to Dave his new role as a family man.
I don't need to, you know, be all show business my whole life. I could be, you know, like a regular person and meet people
Andy,
and
now,
have a family
no,
and
come
stuff.
on. Let's don't press our luck, you being a regular person. Now,
Well, I have a family now.
you have a family now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you said 3 of them?
Yep, 3 kids. We've just, you know, I'm just in the process of adopting them now. And then when we, you know, we'll get to it.
Uh-huh. Great. And are we going to get to meet them?
Yeah, they're here if you want to meet them.
Okay, Andy, why don't you introduce your kids?
Okay, there's George, and there's Herb, and Tony, who's also known as Tino.
George, Herb, and Tony. Herb, Tony?
George and Tony.
Herb, George, and Tony. How did you fellows meet your new dad?
Well, I met him. One night I was walking on Broadway, and I was desperate, didn't have no money. I see this guy walking down the street, and I said, well, I've been out here all night, and this is the guy that I'm gonna mug.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dave had met Andy's kids, and so one night, Andy brought along his parents.
Mommy and Daddy, I never told you this before, but I just want to say that I love you both very much. And I'm sorry for if I know I was a hard kid growing up. I gave you hard times, and I'm sorry for all the hard times I gave you. And I love you both very much. And we love you. And we love you too.
Very nice. Andy's most infamous TV appearance also happened on Late Night, and people still remember it as one of the most dangerous moments ever broadcast.
On April 5th, 1982, in Memphis, Tennessee, Andy Kaufman, the actor, comedian, and intergender wrestling champion, had his first wrestling match with a member of his own sex. The opponent was a very serious wrestling favorite named Jerry Lawler. Here now are the results of that match.
Everybody that sees Andy Kaufman the way he is now, you know, Mr. Nice Guy, very lovable, the Latka character and everything. This is not the Andy Kaufman that I saw, because he sent a lot of interviews and clips into Memphis, insulting me.
As I recall, Andy, you kind of just egged him into this, didn't you?
I was just teasing and fun.
Just teasing and fun.
I brought some of the small clips of things that he said about me, about some of the women that he wrestled.
All right, so let's take a look at some of Andy's harassing work that Jerry Lawler had to endure via the United States mails.
Look, I'm from Hollywood. That's where we make movies and TV shows. I tape Taxi in Hollywood. I make movies in Hollywood, okay? Yeah. I'm not from down here in Memphis, Tennessee, okay? I'm from Hollywood, and I want to have the respect that I deserve. You don't have any brains. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. All you do is plow the fields and farm and farm and Is that how you talk from Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler? Boo. See, Mr. Lawler, you don't have any brains.
I'm from Hollywood. I have the brain. I could have sued you for everything you're worth.
Well,
and I didn't because I'm not that kind of a guy.
Yeah. You know what? What
kind of a guy are you? No. You're not the kind of guy you're.
I'll just be over here. We're going to pause here for station identification and get the hoses out here.
Sometimes it would take Andy's audience a little while to figure out that the joke was on them. Certainly a unique and totally Andy approach to comedy. I think David Letterman himself said it best. He said, sometimes when you look Andy in the eyes, you get the feeling somebody else is driving.
I just like the idea of, like, anyone getting upset over him. That always cracked me up. It's like, did you see what Andy Kaufman did? It's like, duh, it's a joke. That's the whole point of it.
For some reason, he liked to provoke the audience, and which is remarkable for an entertainer to want to do. So that also made him unique, that he was a provocateur and challenged people on what they thought, what is entertainment? You know, what is funny? How long will you tolerate this?
Traces of crimson on your toothbrush, bleeding gum.
Sadly, Andy was diagnosed with cancer near the end of 1983, and soon after, on May 16th, 1984, he died. He was only 35 years old, and his death, just like his life, caused the controversy.
Like the boy who cried wolf too many times, Andy left many of his fans and friends wondering, had he faked his illness and his death? Well, unfortunately, this time it wasn't a joke.
Well, it was a little after the Lawler fight that Andy became ill. We didn't know how serious it was, but when we realized it was very serious is when the doctor finally told him he literally had months to live. Andy, of course, got very sick. I lost a lot of weight. I would push him around in a wheelchair, and people would come up to him and say, Andy, you with this dying now. I can't believe you're trying to pull this one off. And they'd leave, and Andy would go, can you believe this? They don't really know that I'm really dying.
The last time I saw Andy, he was, you know, in his last legs. Leave it to Andy, his hair was falling out, so from the chemotherapy, so he had a mohawk down the middle. And my wife and I then, we just said, why don't you bring all your friends over to the Improv, we'll have a little party. George Shapiro, his manager, told me later that it was, you know, the best night he had had, and since he'd gotten sick, that we plied him with chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream, which he loved, and it was a wonderful night the last time we saw him.
Andy's work continues to amaze, inspire, and influence a whole new generation of comedians and other artists, including the award-winning musical group REM, who paid special tribute to Andy in their hit song, Man on the Moon.
Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the pond? Andy, are you goofing on Elvis too, baby? Are we losing ties?
On behalf of all the Kaufmans and Andy's daughter, Maria, we'd like to thank the performers on the show tonight, Andy's fans, and Comic Relief for making this tribute possible.
Rock and roll is alive.
I mean, even to this day, I'm waiting for Andy to come back. I'm sure he begged for that on the other side. Please, don't you have a sense of humor around here? Don't you see how great this would be? I think that, I wonder now, does God have a sense of humor?
In 30 minutes, Alec Baldwin and the funkadelic trio known as the Beastie Boys headline Saturday Night Live. Your local news is next.
Next.